What's up, Jiggas? Welcome to episode 5 of the Flaming Whiskey Podcast. I am once again joined by my co-host, Sean, the Walking Doorframe Lutz.
I'm joined by my co-host, Carolina Reaper Valentine.
That's right. That's because I'm going to destroy your asshole.
Coming in hot right off the bat.
I'll believe it. Leave it in.
If you listen to this show, Cat will destroy your asshole, folks. Watch out.
Fuck. So today we made a cocktail that is it's a take on a whiskey sour. It is a whiskey sour, but we added grenadine to it. I call it whiskey punch.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Tastes different than when you had it the other day.
Yeah. I think it might be based on the brand of stuff she used, honestly, because it was way more pink.
Yeah, I noticed that immediately. The color is very off.
I think they dilute.
Granted, the grenadine's still floating at the bottom. If you stir it a bit.
I think they dilute their sour mix also.
The company we bought from, or Mr. Goodbar?
Mr. Good. We shouldn't have said their name, but I'll believe that.
You're slandering local businesses.
I think a lot of a tactic a lot of places do is they water down because a lot of people don't like the taste of sour mix, so they make it less strong by diluting it.
If you don't like the taste of sour mix, why are you ordering a drink with sour mix?
That's a great question, Sean.
That's like me saying I fucking hate cheese. Give me a quesadilla. Make it good.
Oh my! You're not even listen. Literally earlier today, I had to help this woman find a color, and she was like, "I want a cream that's not yellow." Yep.
Well, I mean, cream is generally more. I'd consider that to be more of a whitish to an off-white.
Yeah, she was looking at off-whites. So, but a lot of off-whites have yellow, and a lot of creams also have yellow.
Picking a color, by the way, Kat works in a nail salon.
It's a good save. I get the family discount.
Yeah. Kat likes to, the trans or the family that own the nail salon she goes to, and as a trans yourself,
yeah,
I think it fits very well.
I think it just translates.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about.
I think that would be a funny law to put into place, that trans people can only do jobs that have trans in the name. So you can be
transportation secretary.
Yeah, you can be transportation secretary. You could be a translator.
Chief of transportation.
Yeah, chief of transportation, transportation engineer,
Transylvanian.
Yeah, ambassador to Transylvania.
There we go. We wouldn't have enough jobs then. There's not enough jobs.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody can be the ambassador to Transylvania or the transportation secretary.
I definitely can't be the ambassador to Transylvania.
Why not?
Because it's in Eastern Europe, and I'm black.
Also, because Transylvania is not its own independent country.
Yeah,
it's a region in Romania.
Yeah. Oh, you can't be an ambassador to
No one can be the ambassador to Transylvania.
Oh, shit. You were so right, though. Yo, Europe's gonna hate me. First, I didn't know where Belgium was. Now this. Europe's gonna have words for me.
Alright, to be fair, why do you need to know where Belgium is?
Right? That's what I'm saying.
If you need to go there, presumably the pilot on the plane you're taking is gonna know where Belgium is.
Yeah.
In 2025, you're not navigating yourself to a country across an ocean. Unless you have to swim there. Yeah. You don't need to know where it is.
Absolutely not. You're right. Also, you can. I'm fidgeting with my face. My nostril has like an itch right here. I'm not getting in there, and like I'm trying to scratch it. So that's why I keep fucking with my face. My face itches.
She's lying. She just likes picking her nose.
My finger hasn't actually got in my nose, so I just. For the record, I got like a tickle right here, and I can't get it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're always picking. You guys know how to break Kat's finger? You punch her in the nose.
That's so fucking dumb.
That was. I just stole that from a racist joke about Polish people that I've heard once.
Oh God. There it is. It all comes back to being racist, doesn't
it? I heard that joke from a teacher. It's in terms of racist jokes, it's not the most racist. It ain't great, but
fair enough.
Polish jokes are fun.
Europe's gonna be mad at us. The Europeans are gonna sacre bleu. Wait, that's French, right?
Yes, sacre bleu. That is very French. The topic for today that we are discussing is conspiracy theories. The conspiracy. The first conspiracy I want to discuss is who ate my croissant. Was it the Jews? Oh no!
He's Jewish. You gotta tell them they're Jewish. He's Jewish. He's Jewish. You gotta tell them you're Jewish. You gotta. The lore has to be established that you're Jewish enough to where you can make those jokes without having to preface it by saying, "I'm Jewish," by the way. Also,
the Jews are stealing my croissants from the patisserie.
I'm like really wrong.
Vive la France! On a going to get back la croissance!
Okay, cut it
From Henry Hibberg!
Stop the accent. Stop the presses. No more accent.
It's fun to do accents.
It's too fun. You can't. I literally have said like 2 words in between you doing this accent because of how fun it is to do accents.
So say some other words and use an accent yourself.
No. Didn't I already do an Italian accent in one of these episodes?
You may have done an Italian accent.
Yeah.
It's a fun one to do. Fun one to do, by the way, is the name of my uncle.
I'm not doing an accent. I'm not getting canceled over this. Because I'm not good enough or confident enough in any accent that I can do that I would do it publicly. I've tried it before on stage and it's never good.
It sounds like you do not believe in yourself. You need to gain some self-confidence.
I'm trying to think of... You know what? Maybe you're right.
I cannot tell if you are British or Australian.
Maybe you're supposed to be Australian, mate. And yeah, I couldn't figure out which one I was gonna do it. Yeah, see, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good.
You're right. You specifically should not do accents.
No, I'm terrible at it. It's god awful.
Cracking, mate. That was the worst butchering of Australian since the ocean consumed the Prime Minister. That did really happen once, by the way. An Australian Prime Minister once just disappeared into the sea.
Well, that's because people don't respect the water. You gotta respect water. You make fun of my accent.
He did. I think he did respect the water, though.
Mate, you make fun of my accent. I know some British enough to you.
Alright, listen, bruv. I respect your accent to the max. But I'm not buying the fact that you're really fucking British.
That's because I'm from
Packet of
Wales.
crisps.
What's the Welsh accent sound like?
I'm not really sure. I've never. Yeah, what does a Welsh accent sound like? The only thing I have to go off of is that impression that Jimmy Carr did of a Welsh accent.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
His impression was just like.
So many countries. The amount of countries we have offended is just continuing to grow right
There's
now.
no way we've got listeners in Wales.
You'd be surprised. They call me Mrs. Worldwide.
Shout out to the Welsh.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't believe you got me to do an accent on camera. You fucking ass.
You gotta go to accent school.
Yeah, I should. Then maybe I could do. I don't even know. What would I even do with that? I'm not be an impressionist. Like, what's the point of being good at accents? For fun?
Mostly.
Yeah. Who likes to have fun anymore? Huh? They killed fun.
I'm bringing it back.
You're bringing accents back, or you're bringing fun back?
Both. Bringing fun back with accents.
Oh, fun with accents. There we go. Ooh, that could be a. Oh, that could be a segment.
This is an accent of a heroin addict with a worm in his brain. That's not really an accent per se.
Yeah,
I don't think it meets the definition.
No, I feel like if anything, it's more of like a speech pattern or a dialect.
Vocal disorder.
Yeah, it's specific to one human being.
Alright, so the topic we said we were going to talk about today on the podcast is conspiracy theories, as the Frenchman told you before.
Yeah, I was trying to mumble through my laughter to you guys earlier. We were going to talk about conspiracy theories today and other wacky paranormal phenomenon.
You said you wanted to really do cryptids, so we got. You mentioned Mothman, which is something I am unaware of. Tell me about. I've heard it mentioned once, but it is not something I am at all familiar with. So tell me about Mothman.
So Mothman is a cryptid that is exactly what it sounds like. It's basically half man. You know Man-Bat from Batman? Or you're not a comic book person, are you?
Not really.
It's essentially that. It essentially is Man-Bat, but it's Mothman. So
I don't know.
he's got.
I know Man Ray from SpongeBob.
No. So he's got like the head and like wings of a moth. So basically his like torso is moth. So, but like he's also got like legs.
Does he have wings?
Yes. He's got like wings and hold on. I want to say it's like Pennsylvania area or something like that. Mothman. Right here, see? He looks like a demon. So he's got abs and shit.
For the folks at home.
Yeah, look at this. Mothman with abs.
Yeah, just pull it up full screen, so it's.
Oh, I don't know. Wait, it's in images, so how would it be full screen?
You can zoom in, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so.
Yeah, he like is just a Mothman.
So what kinds of things does Mothman get up to?
He chases cars off the road, and also apparently will steal children.
What's his first name?
You know?
It's like Gerald Mothman.
I don't think he has a first name.
This is my nephew, Michael Mothman.
Mothman is pretty popular. Let me see if I. Oh, where's Point Pleasant?
I would love to, like.
Oh, that's cute.
I am not a claims adjuster, but if I worked for.
Yeah, he's like all furry.
But like, if I worked for a car insurance company doing claims, I would be so excited to handle one where the person was claiming, no, a Mothman.
West Virginia. It's West Virginia.
Oh, you know what? I bet they've got it. West Virginia, like, it seems like it's probably just a guy who's stapled moth wings onto his back, but that does seem like something a West Virginian would do. So if we're going by that, I think Mothman is real.
I think it's either that, it was some crazy guy who, dressed up in a suit or whatever, and then it turned into a legend. But they also, West Virginia loves to drink.
Oh, yeah. Big. I have a good,
very, very alcoholic.
I have a friend who went
alcoholic.
I have a friend who went to college in West Virginia. And they have to have a city ordinance that you cannot have couches outside. Because drunk people just like to light them on fire.
Oh, yeah. They love their moonshine in West Virginia. Big moonshine state. So my theory is that Mothman is just the hallucination of somebody who drank too much moonshine, and there was like red eyes in the woods one time. Because the red eyes is like a big defining. They're like, oh, piercing red eyes, and I'm like, that could just be an animal.
What if the Mothman is just what's his name? What's this guy's name? His last name's White. The guy who dances. Have you ever seen the documentary The Wild, Wonderful Whites of West Virginia? It's a documentary produced by Johnny Knoxville of Jackass about this family in West Virginia named the Whites.
Who are also white.
Yeah, they are white. They are all...
As one would assume.
They are
Carry on.
Like, as a family, uncles and grandfathers and kids will all get together and, like, snort opiates and cocaine together. One of them's in prison for shooting another one of them. It's like...
Oh.
There's a scene
in
the document. They live in Boone County, West Virginia.
Okay.
And there's a scene where one of the people in there goes, "You want to hear the Boone County mating call?" And then he just rattles a bottle of pills.
Oh my god! Oh my
god! I highly, highly recommend this documentary.
Why did they get votes? What? Like,
Mamie White is one of them. She's great. She was like selling drugs in the documentary. Yeah. So she did get arrested after the documentary, was released. But she got out eventually. There's interviews with her. She's great. Shout out to Mamie White.
Huh. Yeah, so another part of his Mothman's lore is that he...
Jesco! That's the name of the guy I was thinking of. Jesco White.
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck that is. Even a little bit. But Mothman allegedly causes, like, catastrophe. So, like, there was, like, a bridge collapse, and they blamed it on Mothman.
Fucking Jesco White. That's my conspiracy, that Mothman is real, but it's actually just Jesco White.
How do you spell Jesco?
Jesco.
Jesco. Oh my god. Oh! Hold on. Y'all. When I say y'all, I mean the colloquial, y'all. Look at this man.
Zoom in.
There we go. Oh, there we go. All right, I'll make sure it's stitched together. I've been doing a lot of that too.
Mothman.
This guy could totally be Mothman. You know what? I could see it.
Right, if the Mothman is real, it's for sure a guy who looks like that guy.
Oh, without a doubt.
Just for fun, bring up Mamie White. M-A-I-M-E.
Are we doing a deep dive on the White family now? Wait, what? How do you spell this?
M-A-I-M-E.
M-A-I-M-E? Oh my god. Holy shit!
There's interviews of her, and like she was doing this to be polite because she was smoking a cigarette and she didn't want to ash on the floor, so she would just ash it directly onto her pants.
That's kind of baller. I actually kind of respect that.
Yeah, no, I'm like,
wow. Yeah, they could be Mothman. Because, like, here's the thing, is Mothman generates a lot of revenue. Hold on, let me go back to the original Mothman thing and then blow that up.
Mothman is responsible for 80% of West Virginia's GDP.
West Virginia! I want the video.
Drug addiction, fake and made-up creatures. Man, what if we made a new West Virginia song?
Look at that, that's Mothman. Mouth man's at the door right now. It's just Apollo.
What's up, Jesco? There was another... I love talking about the White family. He just, like, openly admitted one time... One of them, I can't remember who it was, just, like, openly admitted to, like, just beating the shit out of his wife. And it was always like, well, stop making such cold and slimy eggs. They're just absolute psychopaths.
Holy shit. Cold and slimy. That's such a script. Like...
You didn't like...
I don't like how you cook eggs. Bow!
Yeah. He volunteered this information.
Jesus!
He's proud of it.
That's crazy!
Yeah.
Sometimes people tell you the craziest things just like unprompted and you're just like, you shouldn't have told me that.
No.
Oh my god. Yeah, my coworker earlier today, she told me she hides in the back whenever this one guy comes in now because one time they were just talking and then he just got off the rails and real Trumpy. And
oh, really?
And she just like is like, I don't want to talk to him again. I don't know what he said, but I'm just like, Jesus. It must have been so bad. It must have been horrific.
Well, how'd the conversation start? Like, what were they initially talking
I don't even know. Like, that's it's like a lot. It's that thing where like when people feel
goddamn Nancy Pelosi's ruining the quality of the paint.
So that's the thing is some people are so confident to share their real beliefs with like people who they think might agree with them, and so like yeah, he was just being openly racist, and she was just like Jesus.
The goddamn blacks are getting...
Whoa!
What an impression of this guy. These are not my views.
That's not the point. We're trying to be less racist in this episode.
I'm doing an impression of a guy who is racist. I'm not being racist.
Okay, we were trying to do less racist jokes. Or right jokes about... Yeah, even if you're doing an impression of a guy, you were trying to do less race-related... Whatever. Mr. Frenchman. Mr. Frenchman. I like a spicy macaron. Oui, oui. Bonjour.
Just smoke. Just taking a drag of his cigarette and then saying a racial slur.
Wait, hold on. Nigga.
I think though, with two G's, there should be a zh sound in the middle of it. Like I'm not gonna say, like I can't. I'm not gonna say it, but I think you can. I'm at, like it should end with yeah.
So much just happened there. Okay, good to know. Thanks for the French lesson. God damn it. We're supposed to be talking about conspiracy. Let's get back on topic. So, let's talk about a conspiracy theory.
Alright, you also wanted to do Bigfoot.
No, we'll do like a back and forth thing. Let's do like a back and forth round robin, cryptids and conspiracy theory.
What about the Jews are eating the croissants in France? They are stealing the Okay, no. Alright. That's the thing though, with conspiracy theories, when you reach the logical conclusion of like 90% of them, they all come back to, like, people saying, like, oh, we're gonna blame the Jews. That's the, like, most like, 85% of conspiracies are just anti-Semitic. Like...
That's what happens when people think you're successful.
Like,
the more successful people think you are, the more likely you are to be included in a conspiracy theory.
We're in all the conspiracy. Like, 90% of them.
Because you're successful.
They say we run the banks.
Yeah.
Like only run some of the banks.
And would those happen to be the most financially successful banks in the world?
I don't know. Like, is JP Morgan's not a Jew? I don't think.
I don't know. I don't know enough about banks.
Like, there was that one family who were, like, the Rothschilds, and they were in finance, and they were Jewish, and they are the subject. Here's the thing. The Rothschilds in particular... All right, yeah, that's what... The Rothschilds. That is rife with conspiracy. There are so many conspiracies.
You mean to tell me...
Are you familiar with the Rothschilds?
Yes, but Sean, you mean to tell me you don't think them Jews control the weather in a little bit?
If we controlled the weather, it would be warmer out right now, because I would make it warmer.
Yeah, but Jews don't like gays, so they're trying to ruin pride.
I mean, I'm going to the Pride Parade tomorrow.
Hell yeah, brother. We ride at dawn. Ah, fuck. This is just the accent episode. I'm gonna just call it the accent episode. And then cut out all of the accents and upload them to Patreon only.
We gotta leave in some of the accents.
I'll leave some.
People.
No, I won't.
You definitely gotta leave in, especially like when I was doing the French.
Oh, the French is that one's staying in for sure. That's pretty good. You're so dumb.
All of the croissants in every
No.
have been moved into the vaults in the banks run by the Rothschilds.
Anyways,
That is my conspiracy.
so are you?
I gotta learn the French word for conspiracy.
Are you bringing up a specific conspiracy theory, or are you just ranting about Jews controlling things?
I mean, there's the conspiracy theory that, like, the descendants of the Rothschilds are still, like, when people say the Jews are running the world, those are the ones in particular. Those are the ones that they're mainly talking about.
But I'm asking, are you bringing up that, or are you bringing up a different conspiracy theory? Like, what was your main... You just started talking about Jews.
Because that's where they all lead.
No, I know, but, like, you didn't bring up a specific... Like, I was going to talk about Hollow Earth theory.
Or Hollow Earth theory. Let's flat Earthers too, and subsets.
Yes.
There's Donut Earth theory. Are you aware of Donut Earth theory? That the world is one big donut.
Wait, where's the hole in the middle?
It's in the middle.
Wait. So they think...
What do you mean? Where's the hole in the... You answered your question in the question.
No, but I'm saying...
It's in the middle.
They think that if I, for example, sail into the Atlantic Ocean, if I go towards the middle, I'll fall into the...
No, it's not flat. It's a 3D donut. So the oceans are the dough. Okay, and so the land is also on the dough.
But there would
then there's just like... So you can sail around the donut. Like if you... fall into the hole...
Why aren't there...
just going to go
that wouldn't make sense.
The side
why can't you fall in? Why are there no waterfalls? What are you talking about?
I believe that they think that the gravity would still attract you to...
does that mean...
dough of the donut.
Wait.
So you would just like... If you're like... Let's say you're walking... You would just kind of walk down the outer portion of the inside of the hole.
Wait. So they think that, for example, I could say I was here in this inner part, right? They're saying like that.
Here, bring up the picture for the folks.
Yeah, seriously. Hold on. This is insane. We're opening a new tab. Here we go. So you're telling me that they think that I could basically sail from here and then get onto the other side of this and not fall off? So like...
Yeah, no, I believe they still believe in gravity, except they don't not the right interpretation of it, because it's not a gravity... Why is the moon a full sphere? Why isn't the moon a donut?
The moon's not a donut! The moon's not even close. What? There's literally in this picture, the moon is round. It's a sphere. Why would the Earth be a donut?
So are you saying the moon can't be Boston cream?
Oh yeah, you're right. My bad. The moon's a jelly-filled donut.
Yeah, the moon is in Boston. The moon is Boston.
What?
That would be a fun conspiracy. What if the moon was populated, but only by Bostonians?
Wait, hold on.
What if the moon...
Wait, they're the ones that go there, they sound like, harder, chada.
Make sure you... Hold on, alright, let me do a Boston accent. What no, wait, hold on. What's a Boston accent sound
Make
like?
sure you try some of that clam chowder.
Chowder. Yeah, clam fucking chowder. I'm gonna have 9 shots at Jameson and then drive over a family. It's my impression of a guy from Boston. Fun fact about Boston.
We're fighting everybody this episode.
My favorite... This is kind of dark. I want to preface this. But my favorite fact about Boston. So after the Boston bombing, the perpetrators were not immediately caught. And they were on the run for, I think it was like 2 or 3 days. I don't know the exact time frame.
Okay.
But when they caught them, everyone went out and celebrated. And more people died in drunk driving accidents as a result of this celebration than died in the bombing itself.
They know how to party. Boston, it's a good time. But no, I did not know about donut Earth theory. This is actually, I think, more crazy than flat Earth theory. Because what is the logic? Like, no, flat Earth theory, right? It's crazy, but it does make sense.
Yeah, I get how a stupid person would believe that. Yeah, it's just like, well, look. I don't see any curve.
Yeah, show me the round. Where does it get round? I've never seen it round before. Show me round.
I really want to know the logical progression of how someone goes from thinking, wait a second, we've been lied to. The Earth is actually a giant donut.
This genuinely is crazy. Yeah. Flat Earth is dumb. This is crazy. Like, this is. Yeah, I pulled it down, but I'm so stuck on it. I'm putting it back up. You know what? Look at this.
Yeah, leave it up for as long as we're talking about it.
This is insane.
Now, what I want to know is, like, where did the Donut Earth believers fall? Where are satellites? Are they on the inside of the donut hole? Or are they on the outside of the donut?
I'm telling you.
Or is it both? Are they orbiting in, like, a spiral pattern around the donut, and they're...
So the donut...
I think that's how a satellite would have to be put into orbit, somehow in a spiral pattern around the rim.
Is that, like, the donut has to... Like, the hole has to serve some type of functional purpose. Otherwise, why would you... Well, this doesn't make sense unless you think the hole does something. Like, what functional purpose would this hole serve?
Ask your mom.
There. You made it to 33 minutes in. I'm proud of you.
Possibly that.
Anyways, how you get here? How you get to Donut Earth, dog? How's your brain so...
What do you mean, how do you get there? We're on it right now.
I don't understand. Donut Earth is crazy.
I like to imagine it was like a marketing scheme for an actual donut company.
This feels like an April Fool's joke that got too silly. Like, somebody... Genuinely, it feels like an April Fool's joke that somebody ran with this. I don't know why, but here I am looking at Donut Earth being more confused than I've ever been in my whole life. I guess this kind of leads into Hollow Earth theory, though. Because that's the complete opposite of this.
So, alright, so fill me in on Hollow Earth theory. Is it still a sphere?
Yes.
Okay, but there's just nothing inside.
Yes.
So, like, what keeps it from collapsing in upon itself?
They think that aliens live there. And they, like, maintain it, basically.
So, like, how deep would you have to dig before you just fall into the cavity in the Hollow Earth?
Let me see if I could find a good image. These aren't good images.
Wait, how does anyone live there if it's just completely hollow? It's just an empty space. So, like...
So, they think that, like, creatures of higher intelligence use it as like a port to like travel intergalactically.
Are they just like floating around in there?
No, it's like a big cave.
So they're like standing. So like if I'm standing here on the Earth, there's an alien underneath me standing upside down.
Basically,
is that?
Oh, so this isn't. Basically, this. Basically, this is what they think.
I don't get how it's a port though. If it's the interior of a planet, wouldn't the Earth's crust just be in the way? How do you get there if it's travel?
It's like you know how the Earth is in like layers,
like an ogre, yeah.
Yeah. So instead of the inside being, so yeah, they basically think like the Earth is like a shell, and like the inside is hollow. So like. It's all solid enough. So, like, they don't think the core exists. They think the core is, like, that hot magma thing in the middle. They think it doesn't exist.
So, wait a second. Did they...
They think there's, like, a second Earth inside the Earth.
Do they believe that space is where it is? Do they believe just all of space is within the Earth? Is that?
No, they think that hollow Earth is basically a wormhole into space. Is the... there's a good movie on this. Hold on. It's like not... Here it is. Whoops, not two. Let me do...
I am of the belief that it is the Jews living in the hollow earth.
So do you know... do you know about Journey to the Center of the Earth?
I've never actually watched it, no.
So basically, yeah, there's like a world on the inside of the Earth. So they think that like dinosaurs live down there, Bigfoot. They like basically think it's inhabited by cryptids and aliens.
Okay, is this like one of those like Sci-Fi Channel movies where it has a budget of like $97?
I don't remember exactly who greenlit this. I think The Rock was in one of the, or not The Rock. I don't know this guy, Brendan Fraser. Yeah, they actually remade this.
So it actually has like a cast of people you've heard of.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's got real actors in it. But I think they remade one with The Rock, or it was called something different, actually. But basically, yeah, they just think that the middle of the Earth is like, it's just hollow, and there's like trees and like waterfalls, and it's like dinosaurs, Bigfoot, aliens, tentacle monster.
How do you get down there?
You got to go through a wormhole.
Where's the wormhole?
In space.
So to get to the center of the Earth, I have to go up to space and then teleport. Where in space is this wormhole?
They don't know. That's like their big missing plot point, is that they think that there's this magical, like, avatar-like place in the center of the Earth, but we as humans cannot access it, and we can't dig down far enough, like, through the crust, because the crust is so thick to reach it.
Never mind, I'm not going to say what I was about to say.
No more your mom jokes.
I stopped myself.
Whatever. Fish hole. It's worse than wormhole.
Fish hole is
so much worse.
That is just the most crude way of putting. Like, you're going out late, I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to get myself some fish hole tonight.
Oh, that's so gross. I'm trying to get me some sloppy salmon. Oh, God.
I was all up in that fish hole.
Ew. I can smell it from here. Oh, God. That's crazy. Yeah, no. Damn. But yeah, yeah, Hollow Earth theory is an interesting one, because I'm like, why would... So you think there's no way for the two Earths to connect, and the answer is basically yes. It's you can only get there through a wormhole in space that they can't find.
Well, let's find it. Why don't we get out there and start looking?
Listen, Sean.
This is what NASA should be focusing on.
I've done a bunch of DMT before, and sometimes my dreams get crazy now. And I am still... So sometimes I have vivid dreams that I think and feel are real, so they feel real to me. And one time...
I have never done DMT, but I still will be in a dream and think it's real. I don't think that's a DMT thing. I think that's just
yeah. But
dreams.
there's also like another version of myself that reappears in my dreams a lot. Anyways, one time
Is the other version like Chinese or something?
No, they're like a space pirate cyborg.
Ah.
Yeah. So
Chinese space pirate cyborg?
Nope, still black. So they
Blinese?
No! Stop being racist.
I'm just asking if the other... You said there's an alternate version of yourself. I'm just wondering if it's Chinese.
No. Anyways, I was gonna say that I'm telling you all of this. I was trying to set the scene and be a storyteller. There's wormholes in the top of the pyramids.
So then why don't we just go to the pyramids and jump in?
Because you need to know how to activate them and use them.
Oh,
you need to know the
so
codes.
they can't turn them on.
No, you need to... Also, they would have to desecrate the pyramids.
I bet... I don't know this for a fact. This adds to my point before. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you, the true believers of Hollow Earth theory, like... You know, they're like, I bet the Jews know the codes.
No,
this is the logical conclusion.
No,
am I right?
No, I was going to tell you that the version of myself in that dream knew the code.
Oh.
And they taught it to me, and then I woke up. But I don't remember what the code was. Because it was in an alien language.
Shit.
Yeah. So there's alien wormholes in the top of the pyramids is what I'm saying.
So wait, what was the language? What was the nature of this language? Does the alternate you always speak that language?
No, but they can speak a bunch of different language. Basically, they use like a translator thing.
Does she speak German?
Probably.
What about Japanese?
It's always been alien languages. I've only ever heard this version of me speak alien languages that were then translated to English in my head.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
I can't name any alien languages.
No. But it was very spooky. It was very weird, and it felt surreal. And ever since then, I've been obsessed with trying to find these wormholes in the pyramids. But I'm like, if I ever get enough money, I'm getting in there. Let me crack open the top of Giza and see what's in there.
Yeah, that's... just showing up with a pickaxe, just destroying one of the world's most significant landmarks.
Yes. To try to prove a point in a dream that I had.
Wait, are you telling me you genuinely believe in Hollow Earth theory?
No. Oh, no. I don't think those wormholes lead to Hollow Earth. I think those wormholes lead to places in space.
So you do think there are wormholes here, genuinely?
Yeah, I think they're like space ports.
In the pyramids?
Yes. In the top of the pyramids. I think you can use them to travel in between places.
Can you just use a car?
Not to go to space.
Put a Tesla into space. You can have cars in space.
No.
Shot it up there.
No, it's not big enough for vehicles. It's like a round little doorway thing. It's a blue portal and you walk into it.
And it's in the pyramids.
Yes, top of the pyramids.
And where does it lead? The Hollow Earth?
No,
where does it?
I'm telling you, it leads out into spaceports. I don't know where the spaceports are because I don't go through them regularly.
How? So wait, how did you come to believe this? Like, what is?
I had a dream.
Okay.
Whenever I have dreams okay, so I don't know if you've ever done DMT before, but it's it's the most powerful psychedelic. You release a bunch of it when you die. So I have traveled through space in time and met like another version of myself a couple of times. I mean, now we interact in my dreams sometimes. I've talked to aliens.
What's her
in
name?
Space. It's still just me.
So she just goes. So she's just Cat Valentine, not like she's not like Alpha Cat Valentine or like.
Oh! If you want to like be that specific about it, they're probably.
Does she have a name in an alien language that's different? Like
probably.
What is it?
We don't normally talk. What happens is they show me things, and then I wake up.
I want to have her on as our first guest.
I have to do so many psychedelics.
Get out!
No, I'm afraid to do that much DMT again because the one time I teleported out of reality and I basically died. My heart stopped.
Okay, you probably shouldn't do that.
No. I literally felt myself take my last breath and then I disappeared from our reality and plane of existence for probably close to 6 to 10 minutes.
And did it feel like 6 to 10 minutes for you?
No.
How long did it feel like it was?
Like, probably 3 minutes.
Oh, I was thinking you were going to say, like, it felt like 10 years.
No, because, honestly, when you do DMT, you still have a pretty good perception of time. Like, type of deal. Because it's because, like, especially when I came to, it's like I looked at the clock. So I knew how much time had passed. And it didn't, like, it felt like, it felt very quick. It felt like things happened so rapidly and so fast. Like, your brain starts to think faster than it normally can.
So, that's another good concern. Yeah. What are I can't remember what they're called, but what are those things that, like, everyone who takes DMT always sees? They're, like, there's, like, particular type of creature that, like, a lot of people who've taken DMT have described. And have you seen those?
Some people call them elves. Some people call them, like, all sorts of different
things.
Like
time elves or something like that. Have you seen them?
No, but only because I refuse to get in the portal. Justin Brown said he saw them, but he went into the portal.
Why? So wait, why didn't you go into the portal?
Because it felt like I was dying.
Okay.
It felt like I was experiencing death, and I didn't want to die.
This is why psychedelics.
I did not want to die.
I have, like...
And basically, me and Justin Brown have very similar stories, and what he told me was, yeah, when they started telling me to let go, I just let go. And then I got in there, and they were like, man, it's not your time. Get out of here.
And that's when he became the hog.
Yeah, and they basically kicked him out. And, like, so, for example, the first time I did DMT, and I, like, had a good amount and, like, talked to aliens and shit, similar thing. Eventually, the tether broke.
Space or like, illegal?
I was in space. I was space aliens. But yeah, so, like, I basically got kicked back into my body. And then, you know, I remembered all of that. The second time I did it, it felt like I OD'd because it felt like the connection to my body was completely severed. And I was no longer in my body.
Jesus.
Yes. I felt my
Can you OD on DMT?
I don't know. But I felt
can it actually kill you?
I don't know. I don't know, Sean. That's why I didn't want to let go. Because I felt like I was dying. I literally felt my consciousness sever from my body. And it was the first time I had ever felt that, and I was like, oh, where am I? What is happening? It all happened so fast. And then the portal appeared, and the hands came out, and I was like, oh, I'm jumping back in my body right now. Where is it? And then the sky opened up, and I'm like, there I am. And it was like the SpongeBob episode where he's like in people's dreams.
God damn, that is crazy.
I jumped back into my body, and then I was like,
holy shit.
My heart was racing, like I felt like I wasn't breathing. So yeah.
That is so insane.
So now anytime I have a crazy dream like that, I tend to believe it. Because I've been to other worlds before.
Which worlds?
One time, so the good time I had a good trip. That was the first time I had met the alternate version of myself, and they were having a meeting with these rock creatures that, like, they're literally just like pillars of rock that live on a gas planet, and they were like discussing like evil plans. and
so what are the evil plans that Dwayne Johnson is carrying out?
So the thing is like basically what was happening was.
So it's a planet of Dwayne Johnsons?
No. So
can you smell? Importantly, can you smell what they're cooking?
Probably not. I don't know if our senses go to or the say. I don't even know if the rocks can smell. So
I'm not asking if the rocks can smell. I'm asking if you can smell what the rock is cooking.
Well, I had a mask on, so probably not.
Okay.
I was in space.
Like a space mask or like a COVID mask?
No, a space mask. I was on a gas. I didn't have it. My other version of me had it, and I was on a gas planet with no air. So they were having this meeting, and they were speaking the alien language. So they were doing the telepathic thing. So the alien language was being beamed into the head of the other version of me. But because I was there, what happened was, and this is, you know how people have weird experiences with anesthesia?
Yeah, I've heard that.
I remember when I had my surgery during the anesthesia, I have this memory from being able to see through my eyes like they were lenses, like I was watching TV, and I could see the surgeons like working on me.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
I couldn't feel anything, but it was like my eyes were like windows, like port windows, and I was walking back and forth like in an empty black room, watching through the port windows.
Oh, so you were like a little person inside of your own head? That's wild.
Yes. So,
I've never experienced anything like that. Even close to that.
Oh, yeah. So during this DMT trip, basically what happened is at one point, so during that meeting, I was traveling through space, and my consciousness fused with that version of me. So I was that little person inside of their brain watching all of this happen. And so then the alien language started getting translated into English because I was in the brain, and I couldn't, my brains were fusing, so they were trying to understand what was being said. And then at some point the aliens realized I was there, and they're like, wait, what the fuck is happening right now? Get out of here. And they kicked me out of my own body. And I went back into space.
These rude-ass aliens.
Yeah. And so I got kicked back out into space, and then I was just kind of floating a bit, and then this alien approached me in his starship cruiser and was like, what are you doing floating out here? And I'm just like, I don't know, I took some drugs, so we're not and I'm like, wait a second, how do you speak English? And he's like, oh, well, the telepathy, I can just translate and so he started explaining stuff to me about how the universe works. And then after a little while, a bunch of them showed up in a swarm, and they were like, yo, Frank, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, this person's cool, I'm just talking. It's like, you always do this.
The alien's name was Frank?
His name wasn't Frank. I'm just giving it a name.
That would be so crazy if aliens were named Frank.
They did say his name, but I don't know what the alien's name was.
It's probably
yeah, exactly. And so
that was my... His name is actually in the Welsh language.
Yes. So they basically told him, you always do this. You can't be telling people that aren't ready to know the truth yet. And he's like, but they're not gonna remember, I was like, come on, guys. And they're just like, no. And they're just like, forget everything you heard, go home. And then they basically did this, and then I was flung back into my body.
Did they just tell you to forget, or did they do something to make you forget?
No, they told me to forget. I still vaguely...
But they weren't doing any type of Men in Black, neuralizer.
They basically told me to forget everything I was told. You're not ready to know this knowledge.
Huh.
And then basically shooed me back into my body. And then I woke back up and I was like, fuck. So yeah.
It'd be crazy if you had an experience like that, and then when they go to put you back, they put you into a different person's body.
I'm terrified of that happening. I'm terrified of losing my body.
Has anybody ever claimed, I used to be a different person, and then I took a bunch of psychedelics, and now I'm a complete... has anyone claimed that
So, I don't know if anybody's claimed that specifically, but people have claimed before that they've woken up in a different body, and they're like, I don't know who I am.
So, yeah, that's what I'm asking. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's, very rare, but, it happened... There was a couple of, landmark kind of big cases that happened in I wanted to say the 60s, 70s when psychedelics were getting real big.
They were doing so many. Yeah. I was gonna ask what do you mean cases? who's studying that? But then I'm no, they did so many LSD studies in the 60s before they made it illegal.
Yeah. So I try not to fuck around with psychedelics too heavy and too hard, because I do think that you can literally lose your consciousness and your body and your soul to another entity.
Yeah, it's crazy. You take it once, it'll affect you for your entire life.
That's why I believe my dreams.
I've heard this story once. There was it was this a study that was done at a Catholic college. Not like a religious school, but like Canisius University type of thing, where it's like a regular college, but it's like run by Catholics.
Right.
So like they were just they weren't like studying religion, and they did this experiment on students, and essentially, they were all, I don't know, like psychology or engineering, with just a bunch of random stuff, and basically they gave them LSD, and during a Catholic mass.
Yeah.
And then all of them, I don't remember what the number was, but it was something like 80% of the students in this study wound up changing their major and becoming priests.
Really?
Yes.
What did they learn?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
That's kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck did they learn? Mm-hmm. Oof. Oh yeah. Speaking of, so I'm big on like the whole ancient history and like things that we don't know and things that get covered up and lost to the sands of time. I would love to go into catacombs of the Vatican.
Yeah, there's got to be some cool stuff in there.
There's got to be some fucking cool ass shit down there. That's where the aliens are. I'm telling you, it's like the catacombs of the Vatican, the pyramids. They're here, but they're not in plain sight.
What if you take
Area
some
51
psychedelic drugs and then you come back in and you're just the Pope? Like, holy shit, I'm the Pope now? I'm the Pope?
That'd be pretty sick. Well, no, the thing is, basically,
that would be imagine.
No, because what has to happen is there has to be energy can't be created or just like it has to be transferred. So there has to be an empty conscious body for your body to go into, and that body's consciousness has to be somewhere else at the time. Is how that works. You basically Freaky Friday. So like you can't just like pick and choose or like where it's random, but it's also not random. It's like there has to be a vacant body for you to So like a lot of people who take a lot of DMT experience this thing that they call like there's like a voice that like follows you for the rest of your life, and like I have that voice.
Really? So like,
yes.
What does it sound like?
So like I also believe in ghosts and like spirits and shit. So it basically is like an entity that merged with my existence while I was fucking around with all that shit because the door was open and it doesn't have full control, but it has partial control.
That's crazy.
Yep. Yep. I win most days.
There you go.
That's fine. Yep. Don't do psychedelics, kids. It's not good for you. It's not good for you because yeah, I basically just have a demon in my head that says, "Nah, they don't deserve your help."
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. All of my, like, the most, like, selfish and, like, ruthless aspects of, like, my personality exist in this entity. So I try not to get mad.
Fair.
Yeah. Because, yeah. There's, like, a line where I just literally become a different person. And then, like, I call it splitting, is, like, the BPD term. But it exacerbated a BPD symptom of mine.
Isn't splitting what they did to you when they put you under anesthesia?
Yeah, they added a good split in. A nice little slit. Yeah, I'm sure it was that easy. I'm sure it was just as simple as a boop. You're open now.
I like to imagine, like, if you go the other way and you're a trans man, you call your dick a banana split.
God damn. Oh, no. Oh, that's so dumb. I said a name. I mean bleep. Fuck, I'm still gonna have to bleep it. You can't just say bleep.
You just say the word bleep and it removes what you previously said.
Can you imagine? Oh.
Oh my god, I'm dying.
How did we get here? Oh, Hollow Earth theory.
Yeah, we were talking about Donut Earth.
and then-
Hollow Earth.
Yeah, well, Donut Earth led to Hollow Earth, which led to the wormholes that I think are real. I'm telling you, there's a lot about this world that we don't know. I also think there's portals in the oceans.
Maybe.
You don't know what's down there. A lot of UFO sightings happen over the Pacific Ocean. There could easily be an alien base in the Pacific Ocean, and we would never find it.
It would be a good place to hide it.
It would be damn near impossible to find an underwater aquatic base if it was far down and deep down enough, and just in a middle, like wherever in the Pacific Ocean, or any ocean for that matter. You could just set them up all over the oceans.
Now you could find it in the Atlantic. That one's not as big.
Yeah,
I'm gonna swim there right now.
you're gonna swim across it.
Yeah, I'm gonna swim down into it.
Oh, you're gonna dive.
I'm just gonna get a really long snorkel.
Like the time you stole Chantel's drink.
For the folks at home, Kat is referring to an incident where we were sitting at a table with a few of our friends at a bar. And I find it very fun to, when my friends are not looking, to take their drinks and just steal sips out of them. And one time my friend Chantel was there, and she wasn't really paying attention. I was sitting on the opposite side of the table, and I had linked together like 5 or 6 straws.
That's not bad.
And I was just I was drinking her drink from across the table with a super long straw, and she just turns around to see me just like with essentially a snorkel stealing her drink. But yes, essentially that, but a bit wider.
Fair enough.
It didn't work very well, to be honest.
I bet it didn't.
But I got a little bit.
That's all that matters. You just need a little bit of proof. I also do try not to talk about the alien things too much because I'm like, I don't want them to come get me.
I guess that's fair. What's the deepest you can actually swim in the ocean? Because once you get past a certain depth, the pressure will just kill you. You can't just swim around at the bottom of the ocean.
I don't know, but
without,
I don't think it's very far.
Yeah.
I don't even think you can reach the Titanic.
No, not even close.
And that's only 2 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's surprisingly not that far down. 2 miles down in the ocean is farther down.
I don't even think the Titanic is that deep, though.
I thought it was 2 miles.
I don't think it's...
So when the Titan exploded, I remember them talking about it. Titan.
What's the Titan again?
The submarine thing that exploded.
The imploded.
Yeah. Depths. In feet. Is it gonna... Will it transfer to miles? Yeah, it's roughly 2.4 miles deep.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it's down there, but it's not... I hate how deceptive miles is. What the fuck is a mile?
Yeah, Miles is a fucking liar, alright? I fucking hate Miles. He fucked my girlfriend, and he fucking stole my money. Miles, you're a piece of shit.
Oh my god.
Now, who's Miles?
The measurement of miles is so deceptive. I fucking... I hate it. Because, you hear 2 miles, and it's that's just, up the road over there. But apparently in the ocean, 2 miles is all the way down there. And I'm like, wait, is that stretch of land that I travel in my car really that fast?
Well, I mean, you're driving at,
30 miles per hour. Holy shit. Yeah, you're right, because 2 miles per hour, you'd get there in oh my god.
To run a mile, for an average person, is going to take probably, 12, 15 minutes.
No.
For
okay.
The fastest runners in the world, they can, it's just under 4 minutes.
Oh, you know what?
But for the average person, if you're out jogging, you're probably going to do a mile in 10 to 12.
You know what else I'm not thinking about? Is that water physics. It's harder to travel in water than it is to...
Yeah, and there's something about when you go deeper into the water, the water pressure is just so intense.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think miles were invented by a guy named Miles.
Probably.
That would be...
Dudes just be inventing shit or naming shit after themselves.
You ever hear about the smoot?
Yeah, but, okay, we're not on topic right now. We're all the way off topic.
No, we've veered so far off. But you are aware of the smoot?
Yes. I watched The Big Bang Theory.
Did they talk about the smoot on there?
Yes, there's a smoot joke. So, what cryptids do you know about?
Let's see. There's Champ. There's Bigfoot.
Who's Champ?
Champ is a... people say that there is a monster living in Lake Champlain, so they call it Champ. It's basically like a similar... It's like the Loch Ness Monster, but America.
Okay.
I don't really know a whole lot about like what they say it does, but like I don't know. It was like, I saw a monster in Lake Champlain.
Oh. Okay, literally just the Loch Ness Monster, but okay. All right.
But yeah, there's like one picture that exists that like people's like, no, that's it. And I'm like, I don't think it's real per se, but like there's one picture people point to.
So.
I mean, yeah, you have it pulled up. That's the
Yeah.
That's the picture.
So there's only one cryptid that I guess there's like a couple I actually believe in, but.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any I actually believe in.
The Chupacabra.
I love the Chupacabra.
No, the Chupacabra is probably the most iconic and my favorite.
It's also so fun to say.
Yeah, exactly. Chupacabra. But obviously, I don't think the Chupacabra is real. If you don't know the Chupacabra,
it's Cat's mom.
Icon. Jesus, she's gonna punch you in the face. It's the demon dog that like sucks goat's blood.
And do you know why I made that joke specifically, though?
No.
Chupar is the Spanish word for to suck.
Is that Chupacabra? Oh my God, the bloodsucker. That's why. Yeah, it's called the bloodsucker. But yeah, this one's the most iconic. And I'm gonna be completely honest. This is how superstitious I am about it. I don't even want to pull them up on the screen, but I will talk about them.
About who?
Do you know about like skinwalkers and like Wendigos?
I've heard a little bit about them. They're like a Native American belief, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard that. Like a friend of mine like went and he like visited and he was like asking the tour guide about them. And I was like, he was just like very evasive to all of the questions he had asked.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, this guy definitely believes. So I don't know a whole lot about skinwalkers. What are they?
It is similar to the Wendigo. The Wendigo is more like with like it inhabits like.
Wendigo sounds like a tech startup.
So, so the Wendigo is.
Hey, I'm trying to get seed money for Wendigo.
Is also Native American, but it's more in like arboreal forests and like Alaska, like winter, like places where snow happens. So if you hear Wendigo, think snow. Skinwalker, think desert.
Okay.
But they're basically the same type of monster.
So what do they do? What are they said to do?
Essentially, it's an evil spirit that can shapeshift, and it essentially transfers hosts to be immortal forever. So it steals people's bodies and souls. So, like...
Well, that seems rude.
Yeah. So, like, basically, it stalks you, and then essentially makes you so paranoid that you die from paranoia, and then steals your body.
That sounds awful.
Yeah. Yeah. It literally makes you lose your mind. The Wendigo is way more savage. The Wendigo, like, eats you. And then, like, will weigh your skull.
I mean, bears can do that. That's not that impressive.
Yeah. But, you know. Anyways. They're very, they're like psychic killers. Essentially. So the Wendigo one is real interesting because it's similar...
like my ex-girlfriend.
So... It's similar to, you know the one... What's that famous party that, like, ate each other in the mountains?
The Donner Party.
Yeah. So...
Which, if you're having a party, that to me is not a good party.
No. Sounds like a terrible party.
You should bring dip. You know, I get maybe some pizzas, you get barbecue. So, if you're having a party, you should get food. So
Wendigos are often considered to basically... They are a spirit in the woods that... drives campers insane, so it'll latch onto the host body of people in duress in the woods in a party and make one of them go crazy and kill the others, and then it basically consumes the host body.
Jesus Christ.
And so then you become a Wendigo. And you are just a skull-wearing killer in the woods. Yep.
Well, that doesn't... I don't know. Are they, like, let's say I became a Wendigo. Like, are there some, like, wood skull-wearing, woods-based open mics I can go to?
I don't know. Try Bushwick.
Is there a Wendigo comedy club that I can do?
Wendigo? What's the deal with scalping?
What's the deal with when you rip someone's head off and drink their blood? I mean, how much blood does this guy have?
Oh, have you? You brought up, I think, the Sci-Fi Channel earlier, right?
Yes.
I
that is a guilty pleasure of mine. I love it. Have you ever seen Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark?
I've seen a couple of variations of those films, but not all of them.
Mecha Shark, by the way, is not a shark from Saudi Arabia. It's a robot shark. Basically, there was this giant, like, basically, what's that really big prehistoric? A megalodon. It was basically like, imagine a megalodon, except even bigger than it actually was. Like, a megalodon was about the size of a school bus. In this movie, the mega shark was essentially the size of, like, a cruise ship. And it was just...
pretty big shark.
Yeah, it was just out in the ocean, wreaking havoc. Just, destroying...
So they built the mega shark.
Yes, so I think it was like the U.S. Army decided, how are we going to kill this thing? We gotta build a giant robot shark. I don't know why they wouldn't just fire a missile at it. It's a big hole in the plot. But they're just building a giant robot shark.
This is literally the idea behind one of the Mechagodzilla movies. But yeah.
Sharknado, classic.
So I bring this up to tell you about...
Zombievers?
No, but I'm bringing this up to tell you about this show that was on Animal Planet called Lost Tapes. And it was like found footage, basically, type of deal, and it was on Animal Planet. It was all about cryptids, so there's a bunch of different... the Thunderbird is a good one! You know about the Thunderbird?
The pilots?
No! The
Thunderbirds are like in the U.S. Navy, right?
No! The cryptid, the Thunderbird.
No, I've never heard of it.
Oh, yeah, what is this on? Actually, I shouldn't watch this again. It made me so paranoid as a kid. This show made me fucking crazy as a kid. Let's see. What other iconic episodes? Yeah, let's see. Bigfoot, Death Raptor, Cave Demon. Oh, the Cave Demon ones was scary as shit. Hellhound. Yeah, here's Skinwalker. Megaconda. Hold on. Let me pull up the Devil or the Thunderbird. So this one is actually Thunderbird. I don't know if it's still alive, but I think at one point this thing was definitely still alive for sure.
So this is one you believe in?
So the thing about Thunderbird. So these creatures, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, actually existed a long time ago, but they died out right here.
Okay, so it's just I think that's Haast's eagle, isn't it?
So basically, it's like something similar to this. Like, I think a creature with this wingspan and whatever existed with humans at a certain point, and then they died out. But the Thunderbird is essentially that, like, same thing. It's like a big bird that it terrorizes the skies and like
Sesame Street
and like and eats people.
Who's it eating? There's not a lot of people in the sky.
No, it's another Native American legend.
Okay.
So
wait, that picture you had before, though, the one you had pulled up.
This one?
Yeah. Can you pull that back up?
Yeah.
I thought that was just called Haast's eagle.
So
I thought that was like a real eagle that was just discovered. Can you look up Haast's eagle?
I'm just telling you that Thunderbirds existed, and then basically similar to like the Loch Ness monster, where it's supposed to be a plesiosaur. They think that one of them lived longer than the rest of them and was terrorizing people. That's all it is. That's why I think it might be real. That's literally the only thing, is that I think it could have been real, but like I don't like it.
HAAS. It'll probably get it regardless.
Yeah, I don't think that Yeah, like it's just a big bird.
Okay.
So I'm assuming it's a big bird, similar to how the Loch Ness monster is supposed to be a plesiosaur that used to exist, that people say existed longer than it's supposed to, type of deal. So that one I think could also be potentially real, but I don't know how real. Because, like, for example, Native American could have still been alive back then. There could have been one.
I mean, yeah, I don't know exactly what time period it existed in.
The original legend is a Native American legend. But, so for example, in the Lost Tapes episode, it's a group of kids being harassed by the bird, and one of the kids gets stolen and like swept up by the bird in the episode, and it's like somewhere in the Midwest. Or like closer to like maybe even like Arizona, like that. It's like that Native American region, like the Great Plains to like the desert type of deal. And yeah, it's like found footage, so I don't know how much of this is actually accurate or not. But like they do that like thing on the screen where they like show you the text of like, you know what I mean, of like blah 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 incident report XYZ. Here's the outcome of that, and it's like. The kid was returned alive, like he got out, but like he recalls being like dragged into the air and XYZ and da da da, and he's traumatized. So like, if that's true, then that actually happened, and I think it was like there was video camera footage. So whenever people started recording video camera footage at home like regularly,
it's probably like the 70s.
I would say 70s or 80s type of deal. I want to say 83.
Maybe even like mid-60s.
Yeah, I want to say
it wasn't like super common at that point.
Yeah.
You know, for like most people. But in terms of like, when it was a regular thing.
I want to say early 80s, but don't quote me.
That we can say like 30% of the population would have access to. Probably like mid-60s.
Yeah, I was going to say like 83. I think is when that episode footage is from. But, yeah, I think because a lot of cryptids are just like, oh, this thing that was supposedly extinct is still alive, or it's like, hey, there's a creature that we don't know what it is. Could be an alien. But then there's that. Then there's the ones like that are like ancient legends, where it's like, oh no, these things harassed us for centuries, and I'm like, whoa, 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 I don't know about that. That seems real. For centuries, you say?
What, like when you say like ancient legends of like
skinwalkers and like Wendigo, like that. That's why I believe in those ones. I don't believe in like Chupacabra and like, you know, Loch Ness monster and like that type of shit. Like Champ, you said I don't believe in Champ. Bigfoot is kind of a maybe, but the problem is everybody that says they believe in Bigfoot or has supposedly seen Bigfoot,
they're all out of their
yeah. No, they're insane.
None of
them are credible. Nobody's credible.
That would be. You know what? There's one person, she's never claimed to have seen it, but does absolutely believe it, is Jane Goodall. She said in interviews, like, I am 100% certain that Bigfoot exists.
See, here's my whole
thing.
And
she's like a legit fucking scientist.
As I don't think that Bigfoot cannot exist, I just think that if Bigfoot exists, he lives in like the Amazon forest. He's not living in North American forests. We explored most of those.
Maybe they've got their own Bigfoot down there.
I know, I'm just saying that if something like that does exist, I'm not sure it exists in North America. Listen, let me just be real with y'all for like 2 seconds here. The way we have polluted the groundwater and the soil and the tree, what do you think Bigfoot is eating right now? If you believe in Bigfoot, you think we didn't pollute his habitat and killed his ass by now?
Here's the thing though, if
you think Bigfoot has clean drinking water? No, we polluted all of it. No, we killed Bigfoot by poisoning the water. That's what I'm saying. You think North American Bigfoot is somehow alive with the fucking Oxycontin water and sewage? Like, no, Bigfoot is dead.
These chemical companies, they're not thinking of Bigfoot when they're destroying our rivers.
No, they're not. They killed all the Bigfoots by polluting all of the water.
Bigfoot is just a resident of Love Canal. He got so pissed off at what happened at Love Canal that he decided to move to the woods.
No, I'm fucking dead. Oh shit.
It's just like a guy who resembles Shaq, who lived at Love Canal, got real pissed off and decided, fuck it, I'm moving to the woods.
I will say, though, that the Florida version, Skunk Ape, I think Skunk Ape, you don't know about Skunk Ape?
I don't know Skunk Ape.
He's smelly Bigfoot. He basically wears a ghillie suit made out of Everglade swamp, and he's a stinky Bigfoot. He's like Creature of the Black Lagoon, like literally like straight out of Scooby-Doo. I think Skunk Ape could be real because the Everglades aren't nearly as fucked and polluted. If anything, he's thriving. He's got pythons and alligators to eat. I don't think that's not crocs, right? It's alligators.
So it's mostly alligators. I believe
there's some crocodiles.
There are some that are like an invasive species.
Yeah,
or crocodiles. I don't think they've. I could be wrong about this, but yeah, it's definitely mostly alligators. But you know what? No, I think the American crocodile is like technically American. I think it like only exists in like on an island in the Florida Keys or something. But I do think there is a thing called the American crocodile. I'm like 80% sure of that. But it's not like...
Yeah, so this is Skunk Ape. He's just...
That's hilarious.
Yep. He's just a smelly Bigfoot. Because he's all smelly from the swamp, and he's got all that fur, so it traps all the... So people literally, they have this... There's the legend is pretty much this, that if you're in the Everglades, and then all of a sudden it starts to smell... Like it makes people like gag and like throw or what. And if I'm gonna go ahead and guess, there might be like a sulfur pit or something like somewhere in the.
I was just gonna say that could be so many of just the residents of Florida.
Oh my god! Could you imagine? It's Skunk Ape.
Oh my god! Oh no, it's just Bill.
Yeah, could you imagine a Skunk Ape started off of just some guy that was so smelly that another hunting party smelt him from miles away?
So smelly, they write legends about you. You just haven't showered in 6 months, and it becomes the stuff of folklore.
No. The guy did a bunch of PZP, put on a ghillie suit, and then like rolled around in the swamp to get the smell, and and then because people say they claim to have seen this thing, so, yeah.
It's real. I think it's just a man on drugs.
Yeah, exactly my point. I think it's just a man on drugs.
That is Florida man. That is Florida man.
A smelly man on drugs. I think that is the... But yeah, they're just like, be careful with the Skunk Ape. We'll get you.
He would have got me if it wasn't for those meddling kids and their stupid dog, too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What else could... I don't think anything else could exist that we don't... Like, I don't think aliens count as a cryptid. They're... You know what I mean? They're on their own camp of things.
Yeah, I wouldn't classify them as cryptid, I guess.
Yeah.
Guess that would be a different category. I guess that's what I believe. Like, for sure, there have to be aliens somewhere in the universe. Like, It's just so big. Like, just statistically, like...
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not saying I necessarily believe, like, they've been here, but, like, for sure somewhere.
Yeah, so, my favorite cryptid is the Chupacabra, but there's definitely a lot of weird ones out there, and the only ones that I think are real are, like, Wendigo Skinwalker.
You ever hear... I don't know this story super well, but there was a story that I'll tell you, like, what is, like, documented fact, and then I'll tell you, like, what people say it was.
Okay.
So I believe this happened in the U.S., but there was a large immigrant population from, like, this very particular town in, I believe, China. And, like, for whatever, like, but all from, like, a very like, the same place, like, not just a bunch of, like, assorted a place that, like, Chinese people in general have moved to, but it's, like, a specific group within China. And they were, I believe, it might have even been in Canada, I don't know, but something like 80% of them just died overnight. And, like, scientists could not figure out why.
They probably all ate something. They definitely ate something.
They for sure would have checked for that, like the scientists doing the autopsies. Like, you can, like, if it's food poisoning, we'd be able to figure that out.
What do they think it is then?
So the surviving members of that community say, I wish I knew more details of this story, but the surviving members of that community, they were like, oh no, it was like this monster thing that from our culture.
Yes. And it came and, like, took a bunch of people.
Yeah. And, like, I don't believe there is any scientific explanation into how any of the people died. They just, like, all just died in their sleep.
I'm telling you, spirits are real, man. Don't fuck with spirits. That's why I am kind to spirits. Whatever, I've already talked about
I love spirits. I got them in this drink right now.
I've already talked about how crazy I am.
Distilled spirits.
I'm the type of person that can, like, feel energies and, like, entities and shit in a room.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever, like, felt an entity.
I only became sensitive to it after the DMT experiences.
That tracks.
Yeah, so now I can kind of feel in between because I've been ethereal before.
I'm an ethereal girl. Ethereal. Living in an ethereal world. We are living in an ethereal world. You know I'm an ethereal girl.
I'm always so cautious about trying to not lose consciousness. And
honestly, that would be a good, like, Instagram handle for you.
Someone's always
ethereal girl.
Your body. Yeah. There's always there's always entities and things looking for bodies, so it's good not to lose yours. It's a scary place in the spirit realm, man. Don't like it. Do not buy. Do not interact. Don't like it even a little bit. Oh my god, I used to hate the basement at rugby.
Well, yeah, because your neighbor was in it.
No, Sean, she refused to go down there.
Really?
Even though there was free washer and dryer in the house, she said she felt so uncomfortable down there that she'd rather go to a laundromat.
So what was in there?
So, tucked away, like, there was just a lot of, like, garbage and shit, like, in there from, like, over the years. And tucked away in one of the corners, immaculately, like, set up. Not, like it was dusty type of deal. But, like, immaculately, like...
For the folks at home, she's referring... Kat used to have a shared apartment. A house that, she lived upstairs. Her neighbor lived downstairs, and then there was a basement.
Yes. And I'll bleep the ad... Well, whatever. Who cares? I don't
live there anymore.
Yeah, you
can't call for violence.
Wait. Shit, never mind. I'll cut that. Anyways, you're right. No violence. So... There was, like, a display of, like, porcelain dolls, basically, they were very, I want to say, like, old Dutch style looking, like, very, like, kind of old world European looking dolls. And they had those eyes, and, like, it just, like, standing next to them and being around them, and just, like, looking, like, you could just feel this presence that was, like, trapped in these dolls.
And so you and your neighbor who you hate have both experienced this?
She didn't tell me exactly what it was. She just told Phoebe one time that, like, she doesn't go down there because she's too afraid to be down there alone, so she goes to the laundromat.
Huh.
I I was so terrified to go down there that I would literally have like almost full on panic attack. Like because I would feel the. Eventually, me and the entity kind of bonded because he hated. But,
oh, how's this now?
I'll bleep all the names. It's fine.
Who else can it be?
Yeah, I'm still gonna post it.
Figure it out through the context clues that it's very clearly your roommate.
Anyways, the entity, we and the entity started to have conversations, and near the end of it, it started begging me for help, and I'm like,
what kind of help did it need?
It wanted its home to be cleaned or to be released, and I'm like, first of all, I'm not going to perform an exorcist. Second of all, I'm not cleaning up this basement because all of this junk here existed before me, and I don't think you understand how difficult it is to clean out this basement. And so, I would still be scared, but like, they weren't aggressive towards me anymore.
Huh.
Yep.
That is crazy.
Yep.
Why didn't you just go to a laundromat too?
Because I didn't have a car for
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of it.
fair.
There was one like pretty conveniently like right there, but basically,
But you worked at a dry cleaner.
no, not the whole time I lived there. Though. Yeah. So the reason the entity hated more is because she would literally just like basically throw her dryer sheets and like lint on the floor and never cleaned it up.
So it was an entity that hated littering.
Yes. Because it's like, the entity basically told me, I'm upset because people, they move in here and they put all this stuff in here and they dirty it up and then they don't clean up and nobody takes care of, my house and da-da-da-da.
So do you believe the entity was like in the dolls specifically?
Yes. I believe the entity was trapped inside the dolls but resided
in all of the dolls or just one of them?
Like, the set of dolls. But, like, it resided in the entire basement.
So, like, what would happen if, like, you took those dolls and you, like, put one somewhere and then you put another one somewhere else?
They're not like separate. They're like on one block. It's like similar to like Moksha dolls, but like they're separated out onto a wooden block all the way. Like
what are Moksha dolls?
The stacking dolls.
Oh, the Russian nesting dolls?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were like that, but like stacked out like all the way from smallest to biggest on like a piece of they were like it was like a.
Oh, and so they were like affixed to the wood?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Huh.
Yep. That's like my most. I would say.
So
like,
whose was that? Was it just like a previous tenant who left
I
there?
think it was a previous tenant. So the thing is, that house was built in the 1900s.
Huh.
So like it was like real old. It was like It was either 1903 or 1923.
Oh, it's like early 1900s.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like somebody definitely died in that house.
Presumably, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Old enough.
Well,
died.
The spirit was human. Over time, it became.
Oh, so you're saying it's a ghost who like used to live there?
I don't know if they used to live there or if their spirit is just trapped in the dolls. I think somebody brought the dolls into the house.
Huh.
So I think the spirit is even more ancient than the house. Yeah.
How come there's no ghosts? This has been done before. This is the unique point. But why are there no ghosts who died in like 2017? Like, why are they all super old? No one's like seeing a ghost who like, hey man, could you Venmo me so I can get some Chipotle? Why has a ghost never said that? Like, why are they all so old? Like every account someone has where they're like, oh, I had talked to a ghost or I witnessed one. It's always someone who died like 100 years ago.
So
why is that?
A lot of the way these spirits are created is from people that die in tragedies, or they die with like holding on to something that they wanted to do or didn't do, or they feel so strongly about the place that they lived that they can't let it go.
Huh.
So like modern day people are afforded so many luxuries and amenities that they have less regrets on average when they die, I think. So they have less tying them here to the mortal plane when you die now than I think they did back in the day.
Huh.
Because, like, you can be gay now. Like, you couldn't be gay back then. So, like, I think there's a lot of ghosts that are just, like, here because...
You heard it here first,
be
folks.
gay.
You heard it here first, folks. Ghosts are gay.
I think a lot... I literally just legitimately think a lot of ghosts are just have some type of regret where it's just like, yeah, I couldn't be myself. So, I'm mad about it. And they just kind of hold on until... Yeah. They either get what they want and they can pass, or they get exercised and they get forced out.
Interesting.
Yeah. Also, you can, like, invite stuff in and, like, type of deal, so you get the energy you kind of put out into the world. You know what I mean? Like, I've lived in this house long enough now that I don't feel any sort of presence in it. Which is, you normally, that's the normal experience, is that you don't feel any presence.
Really?
Yes, the normal experience.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay.
Yeah, no, the normal experience is you walk into places and you're just like, oh, alright, I'm just in a building now. Whereas, like, some places I walk into and I'm just like, oh, what happened here?
Huh.
That's not, I'm like, something is up. Like, you feel it immediately. It's almost like the air changes.
Do you feel any, like, presence at any of, like, the open mics that we regularly go to?
Not in any of the spaces we've been into, but I guarantee you if I went into some of those basements, I would feel something.
Have you ever been into the Milky's basement?
No.
We gotta have Nikki take us into... I've been in there a couple times. It's spooky. It just, I've never, like, felt a thing.
Yeah.
But, like, it for sure is a place where, like, if you're someone who, like, can sense ghosts, that's where it would be. There is...
So, like, the thing about...
It looks ghostly down there.
So, one of the reasons ghosts tend to inhabit places that are, quote-unquote, spooky is because they like to be... most ghosts like to be in... they don't want people to be in their space. They don't want people to be around. They don't want human presence.
That makes sense.
So that's why they're in the... And a lot of the psychology of it is like, oh, you're just in a place that's scary, so you feel scared or whatever, da-da-da-da. And it is a lot of that for some people, because some people get scared in any room. Whereas, like, I typically only get scared in a room if I feel something. Where I'm like, oh, we're not alone in the room.
The next time we go to Milky's, we need to go down to the basement. I need to know if you feel anything.
Okay, that's fine. As long as Nikki lets us in, I don't care.
Yeah, she's taken me down there before. Like, sometimes I'll wander it into the kitchen, and he's like, oh, have I ever shown you this?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't normally bring this kind of thing up with people because some people think you're crazy and they're just like, oh, whatever. And it's like, okay, that's fine. Believe whatever you want to believe. Because honestly, the less you believe in it, the less it affects you. But then every once in a while, people are like, yeah, I just walked in there and I don't know. I don't like the vibe. And I'm like, yeah, that's because someone died here. Yeah, no shit, you didn't like the vibe of this hotel room. There's a ghost in it.
Why would you, if you're a ghost, why are you inhabiting a hotel room?
I'm just giving examples.
What connection would you have to that room? It's a hotel by the nature of what the building is. You don't live there.
It depends on a lot of...
Or do you believe that people just stay where they died? But they had, like, a connection to something else?
So most of the time, your presence stays within the realm of where you died, which is what made this spirit in the doll so interesting. Is because it had been moved from its initial residence. It did not live there originally.
Huh.
Yes.
So, like, how did it communicate with you? Like, what?
Telepathically. Like, it's, like, in your brain. It's like, because, like, I've had telepathic communications before with, like, other, like, on DMT. So, like, the gateway has been opened. So now things can communicate with me telepathically.
Huh.
Yeah. So.
You know, I have a story. This isn't mine, but this is from, this is a story from my stepdad.
Mm-hmm.
So his grandma was a very big believer in ghosts. So at one point he said to her, he's like, when you die, send me a sign of some sort.
Oh no!
He's like, I want to know that it's real.
Don't do that.
And she died, and years went by, and he never claims he experienced anything.
Yeah.
And then he had his daughter. She was a very young child, and she would always, the grandma long past at this point, but his young daughter, my stepsister Alex, as a kid, there was a particular chair, and she would always go like, "There's a lady sitting in that chair."
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lady, and she would start seeing the lady other places too. Yep. Like she would be like, "Oh, there's the lady. There's the lady." And again, she had never met this woman, no connection with her. And then one day, they were looking through Alan's wedding photos to his first wife, Alex's mom, and she sees her grandma, and she's like, "That's the lady!"
Yeah. Yeah, the reason why children are typically involved in a lot of these types of scenarios too is because when you're young, your brain is still developing, so it's so open to all these pathways and connections and whatever that you can see and experience things that it's harder for adults to experience them because basically your brain fully develops. So once your synapses are all closed and connected and whatever, all of that stuff from before is basically lost.
Okay. Oh, and then one other thing with that story. Alan said one time he was at work and he was telling that story to his coworkers, and then he just looked at his watch and somehow it was like 4 hours off, and he just freaked out and took the watch off and threw it.
Was it digital?
I think he usually would wear a digital watch. I would guess.
Oh, fuck. No, dog. That would fuck me up. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. That's a ghost watch. Oh, hell no. Now, that means is that your grandmother? Or...
No, it's my stepdad's grandma.
Oh, his grandmother is fucking with him.
Really?
He said, "Oh, show me a sign that you're really dead." And she was like, "Oh, I got something for his ass."
Yeah.
Now, every once in a while, when she's in the neighborhood, she's like, "I got something for his ass. Here's your sign, bitch."
Yeah.
Because not all spirits are evil. Some of them are very playful and helpful. Or just like, they just, like a lot of, like, for example, like ghosts of sex workers are usually, they're usually more playful, depending on how they died. If they die tragically, they're usually evil.
I hadn't even considered that. But can I pay for a ghost blowjob?
Some people say you can, but I don't think that's real. I don't think most entities can interact with you physically unless they're all the way evil.
Why would you have to be evil to interact with someone?
So similar to, like, you know how, like, in Star Wars... Shut up.
What?
I meant the viewers. Because I just went from Ghost to Star Wars. I'm talking about the Force. So, there's light side powers of the Force that only Jedi can use, and then there's dark side powers of the Force that only the Sith can use. So, similar thing. There's powers that can only be accessed by certain types of entities.
Okay.
So, the more evil you are, the more physical harm you can cause. Type of deal. That's why most ghosts are just harmless. They're just kind of a presence. They don't do anything. And, like, sometimes they can even be a calming presence. You can, like, feel the presence of, like, somebody that you loved with you in a room and you feel calmed by it. Type of deal. That's an experience people have. So, but yeah. Most things aren't evil. It's very rare that I get so weirded out by a place that I'm like, I don't want to be here. I cannot be here. There was a room like that at Wesselman's, actually.
What's Wesselman's?
The dry cleaner.
Oh, right. Okay.
Upstairs, there was, like, basically, like, an old vault that had, like... They used to do, like, shoes and hats and stuff, or what. There was, like, a bunch of accessories just hanging out up there.
Let's get some shoes.
A guy died working in there.
Oh, really?
And his spirit inhabits that room.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
and he's racist. He's racist, by the way. He's a racist ghost.
That has got to be like the worst outcome. You die and you're a ghost and you're stuck at work.
Yep.
Yep. God, if I am if I am just in my office for eternity,
that'd be awful, right?
I'd say I'd kill myself, but I can't. I'm dead.
Yeah. Basically what happened was I was looking for something at work and I couldn't find it. And I was like, let me open this door that I never opened before. This heavy-ass door. I opened it up. I literally opened it up and I didn't even want to take a step inside with a flashlight on or turn the light on because immediately I was hit with this presence of, if I walk inside of here, it's going to be, you know the scene where like you walk into a room and the door closes behind you?
Yes.
Literally that.
Really?
And I was
you felt that strongly? And
I was like, oh, you ain't getting me today. I'm like, I ain't getting, because basically what happened is I felt that, and then within like 5 seconds of me feeling like if I walk in here, the door's going to close behind me, I just hear an entity pretty much go, get out, get the fuck out, close the door, leave, bye, like the other, like, go, like, I do not want you here.
When did this guy die?
Like 1900s. Same thing. That place has been open since like 18-something. 1870. It might have been like 18. Basically, over like almost 150, going on almost 200 years, that place has been open.
Huh.
Yep.
God, that's got to be like the worst place to be. Is just at your job for eternity.
Yep, he died at work. Well, like literally while working, he died. I think he had like a stroke or a heart attack or something. And like they found him upstairs dead.
Dying at Six Flags doesn't seem too bad.
Yeah.
Just get to inhabit a roller coaster for your whole existence. Go, woo! Could be fun.
Could be. Yeah, it's usually the less public a place is, the more like...
You're going, woo, because you're a ghost, but also because it's a roller coaster.
There it is.
Woo! You're going, woo, and then also, woo!
Oh, yeah, for example, like, the basement at Rugby, I would try to do my laundry before the sun would go down, because at night, it, like, took over.
What do you mean by it took over?
Like, if you went in the basement during the day, it was basically, like, not necessarily asleep, but it was weakened.
Huh.
It, like, got stronger at night.
Really?
Yes. Like, it was, like... So, like, when I tell... You know how when people describe, like, the air in the room getting thick?
Yes.
That's what it feels like when you walk into a room with, like, an entity in it that's, like, not good.
So it just feels humid?
Because
when I hear someone say the air is thick, I'm like, oh, it's humid outside.
It literally feels like you're walking into, like through a, like... You know how, like, in, like, Dark Souls and, like, literally those games where there's, like...
I've actually never played Dark Souls.
Where there's just, like, a mist wall or something, and then you walk through the mist wall, and it's like that. It feels like walking into the boss room. Where you're just like, you are in the presence of, like, this is their space.
Huh.
Yeah, it does not feel good. And then you just, like, feel it in your chest, and, like, the longer you're down there, the more psychic damage you incur. It's awful.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, it's not good. You start, like, getting, like, so paranoid, you're, like, looking over your shoulder, being like, what is that? What's going on? Yeah. Because, like, they like to fuck with you, man. Because what are you going to do? Stop them? You can't. They're dead.
Shoot them. Get a ghost gun.
Get a ghost gun.
Yeah. They had one in Supernatural.
Did they really?
Yeah, so basically, on the show Supernatural, eventually they meet this entity who, like, has a knife that was crafted to be able to, like, stab demons and kill them. And eventually the characters on the show, there were a few of those, and eventually they started melting down the knives and turning them into bullets, and they just loaded it. So there was nothing special about the gun. They had ghost bullets.
That's fucking dumb. Yeah, because the only way you can hurt a ghost is in the spirit realm. Oh, that's also...
Can you, like, hurt its feelings? Like,
so
you're like, fuck you, ghost.
So...
I think you're fat and ugly.
I was gonna say, so, if you are ever experiencing spiritual distress in a way like this or something like that. Basically,
if you or a loved one is experiencing spiritual distress, call the Barnes firm. We're developing a class action lawsuit for people who have been given mesothelioma from ghosts. Mesothelioma is a type of rare cancer that occurs from asbestos and also spiritual entities. Call us at 800-621-2020.
But you basically just have to. I think that was gonna happen. I unplugged my phone to charge it. Your will has to be stronger than like the entity's like will to harm you. Basically, you have to tell them that like I'm stronger than you. You can't harm me. Like get out of here. Like a bear. You have to treat it like a bear. You have to tell like I'm stronger than you, but like mentally. Okay. You have to repeat it in your head. Like I'm stronger than you. You can't hurt me. Leave me alone. Don't touch me. Go away. So remember how I told you about that voice in my head that I hear, like the thing I merged with?
Yes. It
protects me from spirits.
Okay.
So anytime...
Have you heard it since we started recording this episode?
Not really. It's usually dormant.
Okay.
But anytime... So like when that spirit would try to attack me... That was part of the reason also why it ended up respecting me. Because it realized that I had protection. Because literally...
There's condoms.
Anytime something tries to fuck with me spiritually, the entity basically it's literally similar to Yu-Gi-Oh! It basically just goes like, you can't inhabit this body, I'm already in here. Like, and I'm stronger than you. Like,
I forgot about that in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
You turn into another guy.
Yeah, no, it's
time to then just become a taller version of himself.
Yes, with a deeper voice.
Yes, he did have a deeper voice.
Yes, so the entity is spiritually much stronger than I am, so I tap into its power and it resides in my body. So for example, anytime I'm feeling unconfident or unsure in myself, or I feel like I can't do something, the spirit basically tells me that like you can do anything, and then I just do it. Huh. That's how I do comedy.
God damn.
Yeah. The spirit helps me.
I have like the opposite philosophy in comedy. I'm just like, oh, this is gonna suck, and sometimes it doesn't. But
yeah.
I'm like, there's two types of comics. There's the ones who think I'm the funniest person in the room, and there's the one who like and there are the ones who are hate everything they do.
Yeah.
To like.
Yeah, it's very much like.
And I don't think there's any correlation in either of those two mindsets in terms of like how funny the person actually is. Because like I know plenty of people who are like myself who are like, like Jesse is a great example. He's told me, he's like, I fucking hate everything I do, and I'm like, he's the funniest person in the world. Like,
yeah, I think it's a good mix of both is what makes the best comic.
Yes,
like,
he's a friend of ours for the folks at home.
Yeah, so
he's also a comedian.
So I like to think that like my natural self is the pessimistic one who thinks that like I never do good enough, or like, I'm not good enough, or like this isn't good enough, and then like the entity is the one that's like, no, not only is this good enough, it's the best.
You're the best around. Is it just singing that nothing's gonna ever keep me down? Has it ever sang that song?
No.
You should tell it should.
I've been trying to figure out the name of this being, but it won't let me, because once you figure out its name, you can basically control it, and it doesn't want to be controlled.
Huh.
Yep. So now we just play this chess game back and forth of me being like, I shouldn't do that. That's bad. And then being like, but I want to do it. And then sometimes they win, sometimes I win.
That's a game.
Yeah. Hopefully my therapist doesn't watch this.
Oh, you've never mentioned any of this?
No! Because I would seem crazy! I think I might have mentioned the DMT stuff and maybe a little bit of the ghost stuff, but like, not like some of the more intricate parts of it.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, we're at about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right? You want to leave it here?
Yeah, unless you want to do a speed round on conspiracy theories real quick?
What do you mean? In what regard?
JFK assassination.
Absolutely a conspiracy. For sure. I think I don't know exactly, but no way in hell that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. One, he was a guy who, like, he was just some schmuck who fucking was, like, didn't make a lot of money. He worked in a warehouse for books, and he had been, what's the word for when you desert the army? The Marines, actually. But anyway, his best friend was this
AWOL.
guy. Yeah, he went AWOL and, like, tried to, and moved to Russia.
Yeah.
In the height of the Cold War. And
speed round, less than a minute.
Anyway, actually, I want to elaborate here. Despite that, his best friend was this guy George de Mohrenschildt. Now, George de Mohrenschildt. See,
these are just names. These are just
Lee Harvey Oswald is the guy who
I know.
Shot Hannah. What do you mean they're just names?
That's the second guy you just said.
I'm going to tell you who George de Mohrenschildt is.
De Mohrenschildt?
Yeah, George de Mohrenschildt is this Russian oil millionaire.
Oh, it's Russian. That makes more sense.
Yes.
Okay.
And he, like, if you look at where he had been in the world, he's just all over South America all the time. And just happens to always be in countries as there's some sort of coup. And he, at the time of the Kennedy assassination, was just best friends with Lee Harvey Oswald.
So you're saying that he was involved?
Oh, absolutely, he was involved. Like, there's like, there are a lot of theories about it. Okay. It was probably the CIA.
So here's what I was gonna say:
it was Cuba, the mafia. I don't know. I can't definitively say, oh, I know how it happened. There's also, have you heard about the magic bullet theory?
Sean, I was just going to chalk it up to Epstein shit. He died the same way Epstein died. We don't know. But somebody killed him. I was just going to chalk it up to he was killed by an organized group of people.
Oh, absolutely. Like,
yes.
I will say I agree with that. Without question.
So, like basically, I'm, like, doing, like, a true or false. Like, I'm saying Kennedy conspiracy is true.
Yeah, absolutely true.
Yes. MLK assassination, also true.
Also true, yeah. For sure. That was definitely the CIA.
Yeah.
That one, I'm confident enough that I'm like, I'll point to who did it.
Let's see. What's another good... Are we missing any other, like, popular ones?
What do people say about the Manson murders? They say that was the CIA, too. And I kind of agree. Not that the CIA literally did the murders, but they were doing experiments with LSD on Charles Manson.
What about MK Ultra?
That's what they were doing. They did MK Ultra to him. Yeah, no, MK Ultra. That's like a document. There were files on it. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Area 51? Roswell?
That one, I'd say probably not. Like, they're always testing new, like, military equipment and, like, stealth bombers and shit.
Yeah.
So, like, in that particular area, especially.
Okay.
And so, like, they have incentives. Like, oh no, it was a balloon. Don't ask it what it is. But just because it's like, it's some top secret thing that they don't want the Russians to get their hands on because we've developed. Like,
yeah,
I'd say Roswell. Yeah, as much as I'd love to believe that aliens crashed in Roswell, that would just be a fun reality. I'd say that was probably just like, for the time, some new technology they didn't want us to know about yet for national security.
Yeah, I agree. What about What about Bermuda Triangle?
I don't think, like, a lot of people have, like, died there, planes have crashed and sunk, but I'm like, it's just also windy there. Like, I don't, yes, people have died, but I don't chalk it up to any type of conspiracy.
You don't think it's anything supernatural?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Also, a lot of people have died in a ton of places in the ocean.
What about Atlantis?
Gut feeling that's bullshit.
You don't know, man. We haven't explored most of the ocean. There could be a base down there. We don't know. Or an ancient city.
Find it then. Give me a. Let's go. Get me in a. Listen, I will get in a submarine. Not the one run by the company that went down to the Titanic, but I'd get in the one that like James Cameron used to go down to the Titanic. Like, I'll get in a submarine. I just want to make sure it's good. Take me to it. You know, if I can see it, I'll believe it.
The Rapture.
Nah, I don't buy it.
You don't think the Book of Revelation is going to happen?
No.
You don't think hell on earth is going to exist?
I don't. No. I don't even know if there's a God.
I believe in many gods.
Well, if it's the rapture, that's what it's talked about in.
I know.
In like the Christian Bible.
Yeah.
Like,
all right, 9/11.
That one I don't know about. That one I'm like 50-50 on.
I think it's similar to Pearl Harbor, where we knew it was going to happen, but we let it happen.
Like, I think there are definitely elements of, like, yeah, that we know, and I think there are things they're not telling us, like, regarding, like, what is Saudi Arabia's involvement?
Yeah.
Because, specific, like, the Saudi Arabian government.
Yeah.
The involvement was, like, of the 17 hijackers, 15 of them were, or of the 19 hijackers, 17 of them were Saudi Arabian. So, you know, like, oh, well, was the government actually collaborating there? Mm-hmm. I'd say probably, but, you know. So, yeah, that one I'm like, I don't know if I necessarily, I'm like, yeah, total inside job. Bush did 9/11 for sure. And, you know, his brother was flying the plane. But I for sure that there's things they're not telling us.
Jesus! I'm cutting this out.
Nah, leave it in.
It'll go in the Patreon cut. This is
leave it in the. I said, leave that in.
My bad, guys. I didn't.
That's just you not knowing how many. Like, you're not saying good they died or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying it's a wow, I'm dumb. I don't know things. This is why we shouldn't do news.
All right, what's our next one for the
We gotta lighten it up. We gotta end on a light one. We gotta end on
The Jews are eating the bagels out of the patisserie. The Jews are stealing the bagels. Where do you fall on if the Jews are stealing my croissants? Oh wait, I said bagels. I fucked up. I said Jews. I was trying to do a callback to the French guy I was talking before. Are the Jews stealing the croissants? Yes or no?
Sure, I didn't think the Jews.
Oh wait, that's the conspiracy. The Jews are stealing the croissants and they are turning them into bagels.
Sean, I think
they're taking the croissants and they are bending them into circles.
Sean, this is ridiculous, no, Sean. Why would they just do this?
Okay, so we are no on that one. Alright, we're a no on Jews are stealing croissants to rounding them into bagels.
Right. What do you even do? Take 2 croissants? This is ridiculous. Alright, I don't even know how to end this anymore.
Have a good night, folks.
Bye. Goodbye. Final sound check. Round 5.
It's the final sound check.